Hi everyone, welcome to our final talk on labour. Today we will look at labour as human action through the deep reflections of John Paul II, contrasting them with Marx's view. Labour is where the human person reveals and fulfills their potential for John Paul II. Through action that we consummate our being. That's how John Paul II describes it, shaping not only the world but also ourselves. Now, John Paul II makes an interesting and helpful distinction between two dimensions of labour, what he calls the intransitive dimension and the transitive dimension. Let's look at the transitive dimension first, which is labour's effect on the external world. When we work, we shape nature and we produce things. The intransitive dimension of labour speaks of the effect of labour on ourself, shaping our character, our personality and our interiority. For John Paul II, the intransitive dimension, the dimension where we shape ourselves, is primary. We create ourselves, as it were, through labour. Labour is not just a means to an external end, it's a process of self-actualization. Now, in contrast with John Paul II, Marx saw labour largely as alienating, a product of economic conditions where the worker becomes estranged from their work and themselves. He wrote that labour in capitalist society is active alienation. The worker's activity becomes an expression of their own alienation. For Wojtyła, however, labour is fulfilling, dignifying and rooted in our interior freedom and therefore not alienating. John Paul II also insists labour originates in contemplation, the interior reality of the heart. Work begins within us as an interior call before it takes physical form. This contemplative foundation grounds labour in receptivity to God's prior action. Labour is thus action in response to a divine initiative. This contrasts with the technocratic worldview, which sees nature as a problem to be conquered, not as a gift to be received. Now, in John Paul II's encyclical Labora Exercens, we read, "Work is a good thing for man, a good thing for his humanity, because through work, man not only transforms nature, adapting it to his own needs, but he also achieves fulfillment as a human being and indeed, in a sense, becomes more of a human being. Work is not only necessary, but beautiful. It ennobles and raises us up." And John Paul II's theory of labour echoes the poetry of the Polish poet Cyprian Kamil Norwid, who says, "Beauty is to enthuse us for work, and work is to raise us up." Through labour, we imitate God, the ultimate creator and pure act. Our work expresses our interiority, but also reveals the divine nature within us. Labour is where human freedom, truth, and the good converge. In conclusion, labour is central to Catholic social teaching because it reveals who we are and our dignity. Unlike Marx's alienation thesis, labour is a path to self-fulfillment, self-creation, and a participation in God's creative work. No one can take this dignity from us. May labour continue to be a source of beauty and meaning in our lives. Thank you for joining me.